Now, you're the CEO of your company, but are you the CEO of your body's cells? Today, we're talking about why successful Black women are becoming high-functioning ill and how to flip the switch using intermittent fasting and dry fasting will come in subsequent videos. So stick with me. Now, your morning routine is likely spiking your cortisol before you even hit the first meeting. And some of the things that the Environmental Working Group found, I'm going to read some portions of their study from March 5th, 2025 by several researchers with PhDs from Columbia Mailman School of Public Health and Rutgers School of Public Health that found that Black women, mostly middle-aged adults, use products that have high hazard scores ranked on the Environmental Working Group's Skin Deep database. Now, the research goes on to shed light on why more information and further studies are needed to reduce exposure to harmful ingredients and promote safer alternatives. Researchers analyzed data from 593 adults that produced over 9,000 different products. And let me tell you, the stats were shocking. Almost 70% of those products had high hazard scores. That's entirely too much. Now, it goes on to talk about the middle-aged adults aged 40 to 59 had the highest overall hazard scores due to using anti-aging beauty products, which often contain ingredients linked to health concerns. The 18 to 29-year-olds favored perfumes and colognes with the highest hazard scores. These were endocrine disrupting and they had phthalates. Now, what exactly is endocrine disrupting and what are phthalates? Endocrine disrupting are hormone mimics found in products like moisturizers and hair treatments that interfere with the body's natural signaling, potentially triggering the early onset of puberty. And for those high-end products and older women, fibroids, metabolic dysfunction frequently seen in Black women. Phthalates, often hidden under the label fragrance. And that's all they tell you. They don't say phthalates because if you're like me and like these researchers, you're going to go and find out more about what exactly is that and what is it doing to me. But fragrance, oh, okay, it's just a nice aroma or scent. Don't be fooled. Fragrance in luxury perfumes and luxury lotions, these oily chemicals act as plasticizers. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. These chemicals act as plasticizers. What does that mean? They're putting plastic into your body that can disrupt reproductive health and are linked to increased fat storage and insulin resistance. Reproductive health is affected, fat storage is added onto your body, and now your body cannot resist insulin as it's supposed to. Now, it goes on to talk about high hazard products are commonly sold in lower economic and lower income neighborhoods, where safer alternatives are often harder to find or they're more expensive. But Black women who use darker shades of hair dye had a higher risk of breast cancer, whereas their white counterparts who use any type of relaxer had an increased risk. Many people assume personal care products are thoroughly tested for safety, but that's simply not the case, says PhD Emily Barrett, who is also a professor and director of epidemiology at the Rutgers School of Public Health. Many of these chemicals have been linked to health risks, including reproductive issues and certain cancers. There's very little oversight or testing to ensure that the chemicals in personal care products won't harm consumers in the long run. I'll say that again for you all to really let it sink in. No one is giving extensive oversight over the testing of these products and chemicals. They simply do not care. Emily Barrett, PhD from Rutgers School of Public Health, says there's very little oversight, there's very little testing to ensure that the chemicals in personal care products won't harm consumers in the long run. She says our study reinforces the urgent need for stronger regulations and greater transparency in the beauty industry. Her counterpart, PhD Alexa Friedman, goes on to say there's a huge gap in consumer safety. Ms. Friedman is a senior scientist at the Environmental Working Group. Many personal care products, she goes on to say, especially those marketed to Black women, contain chemicals linked to hormone disruption and reproductive health risks. Studies show that repeated exposure to chemicals and mixtures of chemicals can pose far greater health risks than exposure to one single ingredient. Now, don't get yourself all overwhelmed that you got to go and change everything about your routine. Simply start with small changes, such as swapping one everyday product for a safer alternative. Do one a week, every other week, one a month, and build up your reserve and products of healthier, safer alternatives. It's a simple way to start reducing exposure to harmful chemicals. Now, the study also found that consumers who actively sought out safer products by using the ingredient checking apps like Environmental Working Group's Healthy Living app had better success. But there was also a study that I wanted to bring to you that the Environmental Working Group did for more higher end products. They found that there were pervasive ingredient disparities. Products marketed to Black women are significantly less likely to be low hazard compared to those sold to the general public, with only 21% scoring in the safest category. That means that other 79% is what's being consumed on the higher end market. This gap suggests that even when paying for premium or specifically branded items, those consumers also face a higher baseline exposure to moderate to high hazard chemicals that are getting in your hair, which is going into where? Your scalp, which is then closest to what? Your brain, and then it's seeping into every other part of your body. The fragrance loophole. Check this out. While use of some toxins like parabens has declined, the use of undisclosed fragrance ingredients has actually increased, appearing in over 62% of products. Remember what I said those ingredients actually were? They're masked phthalates. These hidden mixtures often contain phthalates and synthetic musks that act as endocrine disruptors. Remember that extra fat storage, the insulin resistance, fibroids, early onset puberty, which can lead to hormonal imbalances and reproductive health issues. Now, there's persistent risk in high use categories. 8 out of 12 key product categories, including high-end body moisturizers, high-end oils, eyeshadows, have actually seen an increase in hazard scores since 2016. They've slowly increased what they've been doing and inputting into these products, providing, for lack of better terms, a slow death. For the high-earning executive, this means that daily upscale essentials like anti-aging moisturizers are frequently formulated with more hazardous chemicals than those without demographic marketing. Endocrine and cancer-leaking agents have also been found in professional and at-home hair treatments, such as relaxers, that people continue to utilize. That these companies continue to utilize formaldehyde-releasing preservatives and caustic hydroxides. Frequent exposure to these chemicals is scientifically linked to increased risks of uterine cancer, of breast cancer, which disproportionately affects Black women. Now, there's geographic and marketing inequity, where researchers indicate that stores in diverse neighborhoods are more likely to stock higher hazard products, reflecting systemic beauty injustice. For the Black executive, this means that status-driven marketing often masks the reality that their specific product niche is less regulated and more toxic than the broader market. Ladies, we have to take control of our health. We have to care. If you don't care about you, no one else will. See the description for a link to more information. And I'll see you in the subsequent videos to learn more about intermittent and dry fasting. Bye for now.